Oh, we need a new goalkeeper. Yo, what's poppin', people? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1 in probably what was a fair result, all things considered. Ruud van Nistelrooy's semi-revitalised Manchester United drawing Chelsea at home, and I was going to say, it's Rob Sanchez conceded the penalty that gave them the goal. They've scored, before this game, only 8 goals in the whole league campaign, and it took them a penalty to score a goal in this game, and it was gifted by our goalkeeper. It was quite a keenly contested game. Look, man, we're going to get into it. We'll speak about the goalkeeper. We'll speak about everything in this game. We'll speak about Caicedo, who I thought was excellent, actually. He won Player of the Match on Sky Sports, the broadcast. As you can see, there's some new stuff around here. I've got a new lens. The wide angle is gone. You should see me more clearly. As you can see, more clearly. I'm using the green screen as well. I'm actually going to be looking to get some graphics done and just making it, a little bit more fresh, bringing back some more close-up, intimate content. Now, look, we're going to talk about the game. A little reminder to support the content, guys. We're in the top 4. We're above Arsenal, so drop a like for that. And if you do want to subscribe, you're welcome to hit the bell if you choose to, because that will keep you notified when I upload. Yes, guys, we knew a draw would take us above Arsenal and into the top 4, and we did get that. It is away from home. It is at Old Trafford. We haven't won there for 11, 12 years and counting now after this fixture. The curse is real. Really, really unfortunate that Ten Hag had to go just before we went here. Genuinely, that is just our luck. I think if this is Erik Ten Hag's setup when he had Eriksen next to Casemiro in midfield, I think genuinely we might win this game. They might be a little bit more open in the midfield. But one thing Van Nistelrooy's done is he's made a bigger presence in midfield, and that's kind of screwed us a little bit here. We're going to use not Surfshark. We're going to use, speaking of sponsors, Sofa School, to have a look here. Free shout out there for Surfshark, my long-term partner. Guys, this is the stats. As you can see, when you do green screen like this, it works better as well, because I can just be in front of the stats. Look, guys, the attacking momentum, Chelsea probably had the better of it, but Man United still had a lot of moments. Garnacho saw a lot of the ball. He a lot of chances went begging. Bruno as well. It probably was quite an even game in the end, but the goal came from, like I said, Rob Sanchez conceding what is a very silly penalty indeed. Both teams playing a 4-2-3-1, but, with major differences. Andre Onana in goal, who's had a good season. Lisandro Martinez and De Ligt in front of him. Dalot and Mazwari, who looks like he had a good game from the stats. Ugarte, 5.9 rating, lowest player booked. Look at all these bookings. And indeed, Diallo as well off the bench. He got a booking. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Manchester United bookings. We had a few ourselves, or a couple at least. Bruno Fernandes flanked by Rashford and Garnacho, and Rasmus Højlund preferred to Xerxes up front, and when Xerxes comes on, you can understand why. Chelsea. Rob Sanchez in goal, and don't worry, guys, we are going to go through player performances. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that, so do keep it locked. Sanchez in goal, the long-term cultivated partnership of Colwill and Fofana in front of him. Interesting to see Fofana having a higher rating than Colwill here. I thought perhaps it might be the other way around. Gusto as the inverting right back. Reece James moving over and starting as left back, but of course moved over at halftime. Caicedo and Lavia, the preferred central defensive midfield partnership. Lavia looks good, but what his main thing at the moment is making Caicedo look better. Cole Palmer in a sort of free role, but playing more in the left pocket, and then Jackson, Noni Madueke on the right, really ineffective, and Neto on the left and moving over to the right later. Just quickly to see the sort of heat maps, that will be really helpful here. Cole Palmer played in both sort of pockets. I wonder if in the second half, so as you can see, this is probably the first half here, and then the second half when the fullbacks moved, I reckon he switched over there. Pedro Neto played both wings, as you can see there from his heat map. And yeah, in terms of inverting, Gusto played a lot of number 10 positions, which you can see here where my cursor is inverting a lot. And of course, Reece James moved over in the second half, becoming much more advancing rather than inverting tightly as a sort of left kind of centre back here. So that was the sort of movements of the players. Yes, let's run you through the stats quickly for context of this game. We had the lion's share of the ball. Let's do it in both halves. They had a slightly bigger expected goals, but that will be massively inflated by the gifted penalty. What does make me uncomfortable is the 4 big chances to Chelsea's 1. I suppose the Moises Caicedo goal will not be represented as a big chance. In the first half, we're 1.2 XG to their 0.68. They did have 2 big chances to our 1. We had more shots than them though, and we had 4 corner kicks to their 1. So dominant largely in open play stats. In the second half, they got that bigger XG, but that would have come from the penalty. 2 big chances to our 0. So really nullified creatively Chelsea here. They had 1 more shot to our 6. Maybe you'd expect that from a home team, but we should have imposed ourselves. We'd still had more corners than them, and probably a little bit more even in the second half. Gary Neville on commentary was saying Chelsea were better in the first half, probably a bit more even, but I think the game at large was quite even. First half was just not much happened. Gusto, Garte, Dallo, yellow cards. A few moments. There was that lovely touch from Cole Palmer where he sort of is being pressed by 2 players, touches it in between them and chases after it. They're both wrong-footed. He sends Ugarte to the shops. It's a lovely piece of skill, which probably was the highlight of the first half. So we make the change. Cucurella comes on at half-time, which means Reece James moves over to his native right-back. And Cucurella plays left back. Bruno Fernandes gets the penalty in the 70th minute. And look, it's not the greatest from Wesley Fofana, but Garnacho, who's been the danger man in this game in terms of... I felt like Garnacho wasted a lot of chances. He gave away possession poorly. His possession retention, as it were, was poor. He got robbed a few times. But the fact remains he was their outlet. He was their outball. In many ways, I suppose he was their plan. He gets the ball on the left-hand side of the goal, and Sanchez flaps at it, takes him out. It's really... When you're a forward and the goalkeeper's diving at that position, they're so far from the ball. It's so easy to go around them. I mean, that's probably Edison's biggest weakness at Man City for a pretty complete goalkeeper. I don't know, man. Really, really disappointing from Rob Sanchez. He had saved a penalty from Bruno Fernandes before, but yeah, it just completely was done by him this time. Manchester United 1-0. And at this point, I'm thinking, damn. Also, we see Mudryk and Fernandes come on off the bench. Now, if you've been following me lately, and the channel and many Chelsea fans, you'll be thinking, you're losing at Old Trafford. You really need to do something here. And in terms of recent form and performances, maybe that's a bit harsh on Mudryk, but profile style-wise, I wasn't filled with confidence. Today, well, to Enzo Fernandez's credit, he did have a little bit of an effect, and Mudryk didn't do anything, as you can see here on his sofa score, 6.1, which I believe, I just want to confirm, is it's the lowest score of a Chelsea player. So he had 25 minutes on the pitch, maybe. Very poor. But we do score. We score in the 74th minute. So actually, 4 minutes later, we get a goal back. And at this point, I'm thinking, damn, we're going to win this game. We're going to break the curse. We're going to see maybe... So we've had 3 subs at that point, and one's in the halftime window. So we've got 2 more, and we can make them in 2 different windows as well. So I'm thinking... What am I thinking? I'm looking at the bench now. I'm thinking essentially Nkunku and Felix, right? If you look at the bench, excuse me. But no, Enzo Maresca sort of holds out and wants to keep the plan. Fair enough, I get it. And there were, it's worth mentioning, guys, at time, it looked like we had the better plan, against Manchester United. We were a really good combinational play in transition. There were times when we kept the ball sensibly and passed it around to try and tire them out. There needs to be time when you rest and think and be cerebral. We know Maresca doesn't want a basketball game. Chelsea thrive of that at the moment, but that's not his long-term game. He wants us to control games more. So we sort of approach that a little bit, but really, really, it sort of fizzled out. And I kind of said as well, by the way, shout out to my Instagram if you want to follow me. I do a lot of live updates when Chelsea play and speak on my stories and halftime lives at Football Yannick if you're interested in that. I spoke about, look, we're still a young team, and this is just, look at the comparative ages of the team, you got like senior players, like the whole back line senior. I mean, Dilik's still a bit young, but that, Ugarte and Casemiro is very experienced. Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, experienced players. And also they brought on Lindelof to sort of see out, who's an experienced player as well. Still very young, developmental Chelsea. But it's a really great goal from Caicedo. It's a long-range drive. He meets it. He keeps it low. He keeps it to the left, to the far right-hand side of Andre Onana in goal. It's an excellent goal, man. And we'll speak about maybe Caicedo a little bit more in just a moment. So it's 1-1. I really think we're going to go and win this game just because I feel like we've scored a great goal in open play. We've conceded a silly penalty and sort of gifted them a goal. I want to obviously pay Manchester United the compliment because they did create out chances. There was room down the left-hand flank, but I just thought Chelsea are a better team here. I think largely, for large spells, we were better. And, this is represented by the attacking momentum here, the blue over the green. Lots more blue than green, but this isn't always the best barometer for that. But I do think Chelsea could have gone on to win this game. Changes, we see lots more cards. There's a bit of a fight. Cole Palmer gets carved up a little bit by Ugarte, who then gets substituted off for Lindelof, who plays in midfield rather peculiarly. Xerxes comes on for Højlund. He's scored on his debut, Xerxes. I think he's yet to score for Manchester United since. Sort of confusing player. So, honours even, and we take the point. We go above Arsenal. We go into the top 4. Let's talk about player performances. I think we'll end with the goalkeeper. Okay. I think the centre backs were fine. Colwell he's a proper hothead, isn't he? Fofana made a bit of a mistake before the penalty. They're both fine. They're both going to get better. This kind of like, I understand that this is just where we're at the moment with these guys. We're sort of cultivating these 2 youngsters, long-term developmental project. They're going to be good at times. They're going to be not perfect. I never think they'll be disastrous, and that's a risk worth taking to just keep playing them. I think Gusto was kind of frustrating. He got that yellow card, and also he wasn't very effective when he was getting inside these sort of pockets up here. Reece James was good, I guess. I mean, if you look at his heat map, he was relied on to play both sides. Let's have a look at some stats here. As you can see, he completed 75% of his ground duels, which is great. Aerial duels, 5 out of 6, which is really, really good. A lot of touches, 0 out of 3 crosses, which is unlike him, but 5 out of 8 long balls, which is great. And then he completed a dribble. Good game from Reece James. Lavia was a weird one because we've seen Lavia look absolutely excellent. Not so much this game though. He made a key pass, which is helpful, especially from that deep position. Did complete 2 out of 2 dribbles. We know he's a great dribbler. Ground duels, 6 out of 12. It's kind of not good enough for a CDM. You kind of want that just over 50% rather than 50%. But rather impressively, he won 2 out of 2 aerials. So he was fine. But we've seen him look wicked. Caicedo, player of the match on Sky Sports. Let's have a look here, shall we? Got a goal, of course, from a 0.04 expected goals, which goes to show the rest of our XG. We should have scored a goal, maybe, and then, gone on to win the game. 2 out of 3 long balls, which is good. 2 out of 3 dribbles, which is good. 8 out of 16 ground duels. So, again, it's that 50% win rate, but he was going in for a lot more, which is good. And then won an aerial, just, lost possession 9 times under double digits. He was fouled 3 times. He made 2 clearances, 1 interception, 3 tackles, and he's dribbled past 3 times. Good game. I mean, he's a great player, Caicedo, how he maneuvers on the pitch. He does look better next to Romeo Lavia. That's for sure. Noni was no good. I don't think he was any good. He had 34 touches. 1 out of 3 dribbles, which is unlike him. He did hit the woodwork early, but it was a bit scrappy. That's a big chance missed. 2 out of 8 ground duels is poor for him. It's all right to lose possession 11 times as a winger. And just, didn't really do anything, to be honest. Ineffective. Now, Neto, I think if Neto started on the right wing, he would have been really, really, really effective. 8 out of 13 ground duels is great for a winger. 2 out of 4 dribbles, fine, I suppose. And And yeah, he was always offering. He was fouled 4 times. Sort of. He's a good contributor. He was always offering that width from the left-hand side in the first half, which was a big asset. But I think because Noni Madueke was so ineffective on the right, that had we started Pedro Neto on the right, or had him there longer, he would have been more effective. Nico Jackson, let's have a look at the striker then, the big centre forward. He got a relatively good rating on here with 7.2. 5 out of 6 ground duels, which for a striker is excellent. 1 out of 3 aerials, not good enough, but winning a lot. Only lost possession 6 times, didn't touch the ball that much though. Was chipping in defensively, making a lot of selfless runs. Probably a good game. Now, Cole Palmer's the one, isn't he? He's your match winner in these moments. He was marshalled pretty darn well, you'd have to say. Individually, he generated 0.42 XG and 0.28 expected assists, which is a pretty strong contribution for an individual. He made 3 key passes. So very creative game. Probably should have had more. 1 out of 8 crosses is poor, obviously. I think a lot of that was probably corners. Just corners hitting the first man and not being met. So he'll be disappointed with that. Long balls, though, which would probably be more open play. 3 out of 5. Passable and created a big chance. So very creative game from Cole. 2 out of 2 dribbles, strong. 7 out of 8 ground duels, strong. He played well, Cole Palmer. He got a high rating here as well. 7.5. Subs, none of them really did anything, did they? Cucurella sort of did a little bit. Enzo Fernandez, Mudryk was really ineffective. I just want to have a look at Enzo Fernandez. He did do some stuff, Enzo Fernandez. It's worth mentioning that let's have a look. He did change the dynamic. Not that many accurate passes. In fact, looking at this now, he did nothing. I thought he looked alright on the pitch, actually, in terms of his movement, but his stats don't look great. Alright, so really it's the goalkeeper for me that in these moments, you've got to have a good goalkeeper that, stands up. Look, he did make saves, and he can make saves, but that's the problem, bro. You can't give away that. He gave away a friggin' penalty. We lost the game. That was the difference, innit? The thing is, Caicedo scored a great long-range goal. It was an excellent finish. You can't really, Manchester United fans won't be, looking at someone on that Chelsea goal and think, oh, it's his fault. He's absolutely gonna gift there. No, he scored an excellent, very low-value goal, so the defence aren't doing much wrong. He flipped the script. Chelsea's perspective, it's Rob Sanchez giving them a goal. We need a new goalkeeper. I think we'll have a completely new goalkeeper in the summer. I don't think it's going to be Jorgensen, Petrovic, or Sanchez. I think we're going to have to go for someone else entirely. And it'll be really interesting to see who that person is. But yeah, you look at Onana and the other goal, who's a bit of a meme when he first went to Man United. He kept throwing them in his own net and doing silly things. And he looks like he's settled a little bit and he looks a lot better. We've seen a big enough sample size from Sanchez now, and everyone's talking about it. We need a better goalkeeper. Still, though, it's a point against a revitalised, to a degree, Manchester United. Certainly the feeling's good. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, we go above Arsenal, which is great fun in isolation, and I back us to do well against other teams and probably finish in the top 4 and win the Conference League. What do you guys think, though? Please do comment down below. I'm keen to hear your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on this performance result, individual performances. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I hope to see you back. Mwah. Peace.